Once the red wine has been pressed and separated off its skins, it goes through the next process, which is called the MLF. Ever heard of wine experts boasting around this term and throwing around this term at wine tasting parties? Well, it stands for malolactic fermentation, and it's really easy to understand. Malolactic fermentation is the act of converting the harsh and the tart malic acid which is present in newly formed red wines, and to convert that into a much softer, rounder sort of an acid, which is called the lactic acid. Lactic acid is something we're quite familiar with. It's the same acid that exists in milk. So as we know, it's kind of rounder, smoother, softer. It really helps to make the red wine of a similar mouthfeel, and that is very important. We don't want malic acid because malic acid is what we typically find in maybe, like an unripe green apple. So that can actually make the wine a bit more astringent. Mostly all red wines made around the world go through the process of malolactic fermentation, and it's almost kind of referred to as the secondary fermentation. This, in case of premium wines, mostly takes place in old oak barrels. So these oak barrels that you see here are going through the malolactic fermentation process. And that, my friends, was step 4. Step 5 is a continuum of the earlier step and is essentially when the wine is racked off post the MLF and is transferred into some other vessel, in this case an oak barrel, for the purpose of maturation. Oak is a great friend of wine. It has been used on wines for several centuries, and it has been massively popular for aging of wine, primarily because of 3 reasons. 1, it adds delicious flavors of clove, vanilla, spices, toasty, smoky notes, which make the wine taste really attractive. 2, it also causes softening of the wines, more roundness in the wines over a period of time because it allows a nice exchange with oxygen, which is wonderful. And the 3rd reason also is it lends certain tannins to the wine, which adds body, richness, texture, and mouthfeel. So a winemaker may choose to keep the wine for a very short period of time in oak, which is 6 months or up to a year, and in case of very premium wines, may even choose to keep the wine in barrels for up to 24 months, thereby lending it lots of structure, lots of flavor, depending of course also on whether the oak barrels are new or they're slightly old. But having said that, maturation is the time for wines to rest, to integrate, to balance, to marry all its elements, and therefore be very ready for drinking.